Evaporation. Welcome to the today's topic evaporation. So generally in what is meant by evaporation in the sense removal of the moisture content from any substance only we will be calling it as a evaporation. So first of all we will see the definition of the evaporation. It is a type of phase transition which it is the process by which molecules in a liquid state spontaneously become a gaseous, means nothing but evaporation includes phase transition, means from one state to another state it will change. That too from which state in the sense from liquid state to gaseous state it will be changing. Okay, so water for example for that liquid state to gaseous state for that only example is the water will be converting into the water vapor. Okay, so how it will be converting in the sense by the application of heat, that only it will be converting. Already we have discussed in the case of drying, right? So drying also same only, but removal of the moisture content from the sample, solid sample, by the application of the heat only drying. But here what is meant by evaporation in the sense it is a phase transition which will involves liquid state to the spontaneously becomes to the gaseous state. That only you will be calling as a evaporation. The equipment used for evaporation only you will be calling as a evaporator. And then what is the main purpose of the evaporation in the sense to concentrate solution by removing the moisture from a boiling liquid solution, means here the sample will be in the liquid state only, and whatever the evaporating we were removing also will be in the liquid state only. So whatever we need, whatever we required will be in the liquid form only. Whatever we don't want, that we need to remove from that solution, that only we will be transforming from a liquid state to the gaseous state. So first of all mainly one thing want in the sense to get the concentrated solution from the sample only we will be doing the evaporation process. And then in majority of the cases evaporation refers to the removal of water from an aqueous solution, means generally that most of the cases evaporation means what in the sense removal of water from the aqueous solution we will be removing the water. As we said previously itself, removal of water how we will be doing, not only water, any solvent we need to remove from the sample, in the sense we need to remove by by phase transition, that too from the liquid state to the gaseous state we need to do. For example, concentration of aqueous solutions of sugar, then or a sugar sodium chloride or a sodium hydroxide or glycerol or glue or milk and orange juice, means we all know that salt we will be preparing from the seawater, right? So that salt itself we need, means nothing but a sodium chloride, that is right. So that salt itself how we were getting from that in the sense by the evaporation of sea water, and only the concentrated sodium chloride we were taking, right? That is the best example for the evaporation process. Okay, then another purpose in the sense what in the sense in these cases the concentrated solution is the desired product and the evaporated water is discarded, means how much amount of liquid means how much amount of undesired or unwanted solution will be there in that solution we will be evaporating and discarding only. Okay, we again won't recollect that whatever separated one, that we won't collect as in the distillation process. How much amount, even though it will be in the large quantities also, we will be discarding that solution itself. So these are the purposes of the evaporation. First one is to get the concentrated liquid from the solution, and then we need to get the whatever we need to remove the water from the aqueous solution, and whatever we have removed, that one we will be going to discard again. We won't reuse in the case of a evaporation process. And then major differences between the evaporation and distillation. What are the major differences between the evaporation and distillation process? We were going to see. So in evaporation, we were going to vaporize the solution below the boiling point. In distillation process, we will be going to vaporizes the solution, whatever unwanted one we need to vaporize. We will vaporizes the solution maybe below the boiling point, or at the boiling point, or above the boiling point also we will be doing. So in distillation process, we want, according to the nature of the molecule, we will supply the heat energy. Then coming to the another major difference between evaporation and the distillation. So in evaporation process, what we were going to do in the sense, it will be in this evaporation process, mechanism of escaping the water molecules, otherwise liquid molecules from the solution. How it will be escape in the in the sense, it will be escaping from the surface of the liquid only. In distillation process, it will takes a whole, means like in a convection method. In a convection method, what will be happening in the sense, that whatever the water molecules will be transforming, otherwise whatever the liquid solution will be transforming the heat by replacing the layers, right? Same like that only here in the distillation process, the whole liquid mass will be evaporating, means separating that whatever unwanted moisture present in it. And then another difference is the it will take place below the boiling point, so there is no bubble formation in the evaporation. So because of we were supplying here low heat itself, there will be no bubble formation in the solution. And whenever coming to the distillation, at any point it will be formed. Whenever coming to below at the boiling point and above the boiling point, anyway high amount of energy means that the whatever the liquid which we were supplying the heat, it will forms the bubbles, right? So like that in the distillation process, whatever the liquid will forms the bubbles. Then another one is the evaporation is not necessary, necessarily separating or a purifying technique. Means it there is a no need of separating and purifying technique, but means here we were going to evaporate, here we will be getting the concentrated one, not the purified one, okay, in the evaporation. But whenever coming to the distillation, is a separation and purifying technique. And then another thing, what is the difference in the sense, here the evaporation will be the time taking process, and then distillation is the rapid process. Okay, so these are the major differences between the evaporation and the distillation. So in the evaporation process, what are the main differences between this in the sense, boiling points, whenever the whatever the liquid you are going to remove in evaporation process, you will be removing below the boiling point. In distillation process, below the boiling point or at the boiling point also. And then another one, here evaporation, escaping of the water molecules or the liquid molecules from the solution or a sample will be from the surface only. Whenever coming to the distillation process, it will takes to the whole liquid mass. Another thing, what in the sense, it will takes place below the boiling point, so there is no bubble formation. Whenever coming to that distillation process, it will forms the bubbles. So whenever we will be separating the liquid from the solution at the boiling point, definitely it will forms the bubbles. So that's why. And then another one, it is a not a necessarily, evaporation is not necessarily purifying or separating technique, but distillation is the purifying and separating technique. Evaporation is the slow process and distillation is the faster rapid process. Okay, then the term dyeing usually refers to the refers to the relative removal of relatively small amounts of water from a nearly solid molecule. Whenever coming to evaporation is usually limited to removal of relatively large amount of water from solution. Means as I have told previously itself, evaporation includes removing the large amount of moisture or a liquid portion from the solution. Whenever coming to that drying process, it is the removal of small amount of moisture from the solid sample. And then another difference also is there, a major difference between the evaporation and drying. In evaporation process, the sample will be in the solution form. Whenever coming to the drying process, the sample will be in the solid form. Then in most cases, drying involves in the removal of water at a temperature below its boiling point. In evaporation also, we will be removal of water will be done at the by the boiling point or below the boiling point only we will be doing. So these are the major differences between the that drying and the evaporation process. Then coming to the applications of the evaporation. So what and all, in which areas we can apply this evaporation process, that only we will see one by one. One is the manufacturing of bulk drugs. So manufacturing bulk drugs, in the sense raw drugs are a full only main drugs like APX, means active pharmaceutical ingredient, which will be the main drug in the tablets or in any dosage formulations. So in that manufacturing, we will be applying in that bulk drugs manufacturing, we will be using this evaporation. Why we will be using the evaporation in the manufacturing of bulk drugs? Means by removing of the water molecule or liquid portion from that sample, it will be increases its characteristics, properties, physical and chemical properties, it will get increased. Because of the moisture present in it, it may easily get degraded or it may easily get contaminated. These two portions we can avoid by the removal of the moisture content from that bulk drugs. And then manufacturing of biological products, especially for the biological products, means for that example, alter vaccines, vitamins, then serums, and so many biological process products is there, like injections, this and all will be coming, antibiotics especially, this and all we will be calling it as a biological products only. For this manufacturing also, we will be using one of the application is the evaporation. So same, why we will be using in the that products, in the sense to increase their physical and chemical properties, half life, and then and to keep avoid from the away from the contamination and degradation. And then manufacturing of the food products. For this food products, you can easily take the example of the pickle. So pickles, generally pickles we will be keeping away from the moisture only, right? So before, while making pickles itself, what we will be doing in the sense, we will be keeping it to remove the water moisture content present in the we will be keeping it to the sunlight, right? So because of that external force, what will be happening, whatever the moisture present in that sample, whatever in that product will get evaporated. By that, what will be happening in the sense, increasing the its a lifetime will be happening. So manufacturing of the food products also, evaporation will be happening. And then manufacturing of demineralized water. Okay, so in that manufacturing also, we will be telling the, using this evaporation. Why? In the sense, already water is the moisture only, again what we will be going to evaporate, in the sense, in a demineralized water, what and all unwanted and high amounts of minerals will be present in the groundwater. That and all we were going to eliminate. For that evaporation only, we will be using this evaporation technique, and then minimize the chances of chemical reactions because of the less no presence of the liquid portion present in that sample. What will be happening in the sense, whatever the chemical reaction between that any adjacent product, it will get reduced, so it will be coming chemically stable compounds by this. So we can thereby we can increase its chemical characteristics. So another application, prepare the product of next operation like drying. Means before the drying process we will be going to do the evaporation process only. Then improve product storage life. As I said, for all this, if we remove the liquid moisture content present in the sample, if we removed in the sense, then it will be increasing its storage life. That only we will be calling as a half life of period. And then decrease the impact of the microbial growth. As usual, if moisture is there only, there will be microbial growth will be present. If a moisture or a liquid is not present in the cells, there won't be chance for the microbial growth. So these are the applications of the evaporation. Not and all in the sense, manufacturing of bulk drugs, manufacturing of biological products, manufacturing of food products, manufacturing of demineralized water, and minimize the chances of chemical reactions, prepare the product for the next operation like drying, improve product storage life, and then decrease the impact of the microbial growth. Then coming to the factors affecting rate of evaporation. So rate of evaporation is inversely proportional to the atmospheric pressure. Why in the sense? Generally, when it will be getting evaporated in the sense, whenever the vapor pressure of the sample containing liquid is more than the atmospheric pressure, then only it will be evaporating. So that's why rate of evaporation will be inversely proportional to the atmospheric pressure. If atmospheric pressure will be more means evaporation rate will be become lesser. If atmospheric pressure less means rate of evaporation will be more. For example, simple I'll tell a normal climatic conditions. In summer, there will be less atmospheric pressure. Why in the sense there will be less amount of moisture present in the air. If a less amount of moisture present in the air, it will be dry air. So at that time, in the summer time only, more products and all we can get dried, right? So that's what here. If a moisture content is more in case of winter, in moisture content is more present in the atmospheric air, then there will be more atmospheric pressure. At that time, if any product we kept for a drying means, it won't easily get dry. Why in the sense? Because of the more moisture content, it will show the high atmospheric pressure. Then rate of evaporation will be getting decreased. So this is how that atmospheric pressure will be affecting the evaporation process. That only they have explained in the M is directly proportional to the surface area of the liquid exposed to the atmosphere, SL by P means atmospheric pressure, and then VA minus VP. What is this in the sense? Vapor pressure. Vapor pressure of the aqueous vapor air, and then vapor pressure due to the liquid. Then another factor is the temperature. If a higher the temperature, greater the will be evaporation. Means that a high temperature will be there means evaporation will be more. Means it is directly proportional to each other. Then vapor pressure. If a vapor pressure low means then the evaporation will be greater means higher means more means it will be inversely proportional to the each other. Vapor pressure is inversely proportional to the evaporation. And then surface area. What is greater the surface area means greater the evaporation, because more amount here they say evaporation is the surface phenomenon only. So if more surface area in the sense, then easily more amount of water molecules has been eliminated from that solid sample. So more the if less is there means less. So rate surface area more means evaporation will be more. Then it will be directly proportional. And time of evaporation. If a exposure time is longer means it will be greater the evaporation will be happening. This also directly proportional only. Then coming to the density. If the sample is having a higher the density and then our rate of evaporation how it will be in the sense low means inversely proportional. Then concentration. Lower the concentration means then faster the evaporation will be happening. If a higher the concentration means lower the evaporation will be occurring. Okay, so why in the sense concentration is more means more amount of solute will be there. Then what will be happening? It will be intermolecular bonds and all will be more in case of the substance. Then evaporation will be we will won't be happening. So that's why lower the concentration of the substance, faster the evaporation, higher the concentration of the substance, lower the evaporation rate. And then film formation. If any solution forms a films that is like a scales on the heating surfaces, then the evaporation will be rate of evaporation will be decreased because there if it is a forms a scales on that surfaces means then how it will be escaping. So that's why it is a film formation will be inversely proportional to the rate of evaporation process. And then equipments used for the evaporation, we will be calling it as a evaporators. Then evaporators with heating medium is a jacketed steam jacketed kettle means evaporators need any evaporators need the heating medium only. Okay, so in that by in the sense how we will be escaping that liquid molecules from the solution by the supply of a heat only as a heating source. As a energy source we will be heating source we will be supplying the heat only. Heat is one of the form of energy, right? So that's why evaporators with the heating medium in jacketed kettle. For that example only, steam jacketed kettle. In the another category, evaporators with the tube placed. That only you will be calling tube placed horizontally. Means in that heating tubes will be placed in the horizontal manner. That one you will be calling as a horizontal tube evaporator. Then evaporators with the tube placed vertically means in that evaporator equipment, evaporating equipment, tubes, heating tubes will be placed in the vertical position. So that one, what is the example in the sense? Vertical tube evaporator will be the example. Okay, then evaporators with the short tubes means inside the tubes length based on the tube length we will be calling what type is in the sense short tube vertical evaporator is the example. In that itself what and all some other is there in the sense evaporator with propeller, basket type evaporator, short tube vertical evaporator, single effect evaporator. Now, another category is the multiple effect evaporator. For the single effect evaporator only short tube vertical evaporator. Then multiple effect evaporator only triple effect evaporator we will be telling. So these are the classifications of the evaporators. That too, this has divided into evaporators with the short tube and the long tubes. With the short tubes, evaporator with the propeller, basket type evaporator, short tube vertical evaporator, single effect evaporator. In that only short tube vertical evaporator will be coming. Multiple effect is the triple effect evaporator. And then evaporator with the long tubes means in that again it is divided into two types. Evaporators with the natural circulation. For that example, climbing film evaporator and then falling film evaporator. And another category is the evaporators with the forced circulation. For that example, forced circulation evaporator is the example. In that we will be seeing the first type of evaporator called the horizontal tube evaporator. So what is meant by the horizontal tube evaporator? In the name itself, the tubes will be heating tubes will be placed horizontally in this type of equipment. So basic one. Then coming to the principle, how it will be working in the sense, here the steam will be passed through the horizontal tube which are immersed in the pool of liquid to be evaporated. Heat transfers to the tubes and the solvent evaporates. Concentrated liquid is collected. Means here the heating source. What will be the heating source in the sense? Steam will be the heating source. And another thing, what in the sense, as the name indicates, near the tubes will be placed in the horizontal manner. That too, it how it will be in the sense, this tubes, whatever the horizontal tubes, will be immersed in the liquid which we were going to evaporate. And then finally, concentrated liquid we will be collecting. And then construction, what and all parts, construction in the sense, what and all parts will be present in that equipment. Here, large cylindrical body with a dome shaped top and bottom made up of cast iron or a platinum. Means whatever the outside will be, how it will be made up of in the sense, it will look like a large cylindrical body. That too will be in the dome shaped, right? So dome shaped from the top, that too the dome shape will be present at the top and bottom of that evaporator. What is the material it is made up of in this is cast iron or a platinum. And then lower part of the body consists of a steam compartment with inlet for a steam at one end and a vent for non-condensed gases on the other end. As we have told in the principle itself, steam is the source of heat for that. So for that, we need to source of heat, we need to enter that steam, make it to enter into the inside the evaporator. Means for that one entry need to be there, no, that only we were going to tell steam inlet. Another thing, once it got entered inside, means it need to come outside, right? That only you will be calling as a vent. Okay, so inlet is the entry for a steamer, and then outlet is the, you will be calling as a vent. So once you supplied a steam to the inlet, means after heating, it will loses its heat energy, right? It will come as a normal vapor only, right? That only you'll be calling it as a non-condensed gas. How this non-condensed gas will be coming out of that equipment in the sense, through that vent only it will be coming. And then another thing, condensate outlet will be there. Whenever steam, what is the steam? It is the water vapor, liquid gaseous phase of the water vapor, right? Water only we will be calling as a steam, right? Once it loses energy, how it will be converting? It will be again converting into the normal liquid state only, right? So whatever non-condensate, means condensate means transforming from a gaseous state to the liquid state, but some steam will be non-condensed only, that only will come through vent. Whenever coming to the condensate one, which loses the energy, again converted into the liquid state, for that another outlet will be there. Where it will be there in the sense, in the bottom of the steam compartment itself it will be there. And then another thing, what will be there in the sense, inlet for the feed. And then if you kept feed for evaporation, after the completion of the evaporation process, you need to collect that as whatever concentrated product, right? So for that inlet is there, means outlet also will be there. So that inlet will be bottom of that evaporator, and outlet will be placed at the top of the dome, it will be placed. Now another one outlet will be there at that to where in the sense that is placed at the centrally conical bottom of the body. So why in the sense, this is for the concentrated liquid we need to collect. Okay, so these are the parts which will be present inside that horizontal tube evaporator, and we will see how it works. Means through the feed inlet we will be keeping the feed, means nothing but our sample, and then we will be preheated that horizontal tube evaporated with the steam. Thereby the horizontal tube already it got heated. Once the feed enters, it will be transforming it heat to the sample, and then make it to evaporate. Whatever evaporated solvent will come through the outlet, and then concentrated one will be collected, and then whatever non-condensate gas and condensated liquid will be which is derived from the steam, it will be collected to the vent and condensate outlet respectively. Okay, then coming to the uses are for that evaporator. Now what is the major use in the sense? For a non-viscous liquid solutions and all, we can use this horizontal tube evaporator. For that example, cascara extract. And then what is the advantage in the sense? Cost per square meter of heating surface is less. And then disadvantage, it requires large heating area, means more space it will be occupying, and then unsuitable for the crystalline products. And then it won't suitable for the heat sensitive material like a thermolabile substances and all, it won't be suitable. So this is the end of the video lecture. This is about the introduction of the uh, introduction and some topics of that evaporation topic. Okay, thank you.